Happy Arvo. Hello. Thank you so much for joining me, and welcome to This Week in Australia. That's right. We're all the way from up top here in Indiana. I'm going down under, through the internet tubes, to see what happened in Australia this week. And of course, I don't really expect this week to be a particularly cheerful episode of This Week in Australia because of the two horrible attacks that took place in Sydney this week. But nonetheless, I expect there to be, a lot of posts dealing with those two events. So just a warning to those watching that we will be covering that because that is what happened this week. As I can see right here from the first post, Joel Cucci's, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but his parents' message for the cop who shot their son dead. Interesting. Okay, let's see this. We are absolutely devastated by the traumatic events that occurred in Sydney yesterday. Our thoughts and prayers are with the families and friends of the victims and those still undergoing treatment at this time. Joel's actions were truly horrific, and we are still trying to comprehend what has happened. He has battled with mental health issues since he was a teenager. We are in contact. I've heard that. I've read that in the news. So far I've heard kind of two sides to the motive. One being his mental health, and then also his he targeted women because he couldn't find a girlfriend, basically. But okay. I mean, I am curious. Of course, anybody, in my opinion, anybody who goes through an attack like that or commits an attack like that, almost by definition, if they saw a psychiatrist, they would be diagnosed with a mental health issue. The question to me is, what was the severity of the mental health issue? I've seen somewhere that he was schizophrenic. Anyway, we are in contact with both the New South Wales Police Force and Queensland Police Service and have no issues with the police officer who shot our son as she was only doing her job to protect others, and we hope she is coping all right. Wow. That's a pretty remarkable statement from the family of the perpetrator. Honestly, you have to have a lot of sympathy for them too. That would be horrible, especially as his parents, to say, to go through your whole life raising your son, and for that to be the, how it turns out. It's just a tragedy all around. The family has been a class act with their response cooperating with police and this statement. In return, the grubs at Channel 9 are camped outside their family home. Oh, that's wonderful. His poor family, they are victims too. I can't imagine how this will shatter their lives. Yeah, a lot of lives were shattered that day, beyond even just the victims. It has such a profound ripple effect. I have so much respect for these people. ABC also said that they themselves initiated contact with authorities. Wow. Okay, we're going from that to something a little more lighthearted, a little bit more typical on This Week in Australia. I don't even know what this is. BonMe? BonMe is Australian cuisine now. Burger, hot chips. What are hot chips? As opposed to like cold French fries? Sandwich, BonMe, and coffee. I need to see what this BonMe is. Come on, computer. Well, this says it's a Vietnamese sandwich. Ooh, that looks pretty good. It does look pretty freaking good. Okay. I'm happy to culturally appropriate this delicious food. This is a pretty fascinating story. So this Green senator is threatening Woolworths CEO with prison time after I guess he failed to answer some questions in front of the Senate, dealing with their profitability. Apparently, he has to answer those questions, and he just did not, saying some of the metrics of profitability weren't relevant, and he only wanted to talk about others. And now, well, I don't know if this is breaking news or if this was already happening, but I guess he's stepping down as CEO. So Woolworths getting a new CEO, it would seem, in September. Okay. Well, here's the quote of the day, I guess, from this interaction. I'm not interested, and this from Senator McKim. I'm not interested in your spin or your bullshit. Damn. But apparently he had already announced his resignation 2 months ago. I don't know why is he trying to be dishonest in front of the Senate then? You're already stepping down. You might as well just, spill the beans, dude. Don't go to jail over it. The Jewish Australian falsely identified as the Sydney Mall attacker is now suited up and ready to sue Channel 7 after they falsely named him as the attacker. How do you... That's so wild to me. That's crazy. How do you screw that up? I mean, that's just that's a big mistake. You know what I mean? It's almost like the definition of defamation. Falsely saying someone is a serial killer? My God. It looks like we've got cell phone footage from during the actual attack in the Bondi station. If there's anything disturbing in here, I'll be cutting it out. But the other Bondi hero is what this video is labeled as. It's only 24 seconds long.
Just running and...
Okay. That's him, isn't it? Yeah, that's definitely him. Did you just catch what just... This dude literally just stood up to this guy. He literally got in his way. This is so freaking... This is unbelievable. This is crazy footage to me. It's so... All these innocent people clearly still at this point have no idea what's going on. That's part of what is just so disgusting to me. This guy is really just... These people are just out there enjoying their day shopping at the shopping center. This is happening and they still don't even know. And he is just prancing around. Anyway, this dad who's walking with his family here, he turns around and faces the assailant and basically says, "You're going to have to get through me to get to my wife and kids." Totally unarmed. I can't imagine the bravery it takes to stand to someone who's wielding a knife, a long knife, and to just say, "Nope, you're not coming this way." Unarmed. That's remarkable to me. And he turns. It seems like there were multiple heroes on this day, and this dude is absolutely one of them. That's crazy footage. Woolies with no self-serve. I've just been staring at this. I'm like confused. It says everything went smoothly. You guys hate the freaking self-serves on the self-checkouts. That is a funny thing to me because that is so prolific over here in America. In fact, grocery store down the street only has self-checkout. But these kind of look like I have never seen a checkout lane or thing like this. I would be kind of confused. The fresh new look coming soon sign in the background. Oh no. The self-checkouts are coming. Oh, that's an old location. Still has those pneumatic chutes even. Pneumatic chutes? Right here? What are those shooting up and down? They got rid of the money chutes. That's the best part of the job. Oh, they're shooting up and down money like a bank. That's kind of cool. This is awesome right here. Saw this sign on the drive back to Hobart Airport. Thank you, kind stranger. And that is some vital information. Google is wrong. Go back. That's vital right there. Thank you very much. Some dude missed his flight. And you know what he did with his 16 hours? He had to sit and sleep on the airport floor. You know what he did with his time? He made this big ass sign so no one else would turn down that way. Good job. Okay, what do we got here? World map by Australian Travel Advice. So this is for like safety. Exercise normal safety precautions. That's America, Canada, Spain. Exercise a higher degree of caution. I'm a little bit surprised that like over here in Europe, you have to exercise higher caution in like Germany, the UK, over like Spain, Portugal, and Italy. I don't know. I mean, I view this whole region as being relatively safe. It's hard to. I'd have to look up a graph. You know what I mean? But I would have thought somewhere like the UK and France, you know, that those are very safe. But what do I know? What is this Mongolia? Apparently Mongolia is super safe. Interesting. I had to make sure that I was right. Yeah. Yeah. Wait, that's not Kazakhstan, is it? That was Mongolia. Yeah, Mongolia. Might have to go to Mongolia. Safest place on the planet. Okay, so I've been scrolling through the comments looking for some, you know, what people are thinking and some explanations. It says many of the European countries which are yellow are due to an increased threat of terrorism, usually based on that government's own assessment of the risk. It's not indicative of the safety of the countries, as the many triggered Europeans on my original post assume. Greenland is great because it doesn't have a page on the Smart Traveler. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. And here we've got another hero during the attack. Daman Gat. I have seen this video. This is remarkable. Confronting the assailant with nothing but a bollard. It looks like he's hit the emergency stop button maybe on the escalator. No doubt, saving people either serious injury or their life by confronting this attacker and wasting his time. And the amount of bravery it takes to do that. It's remarkable. It's remarkable. And then I have to also shout out the female police officer who ended up taking down the assailant as the other obvious hero on that day. This is crazy stuff. You guys are something else. And he's being offered permanent residency, which I think is pretty amazing. Obviously, this dude deserves it, to say the least. You want this guy in your country. So, shout out to Daman Gat. Look at that. An albino magpie. Isn't that something? I don't know what else to say about that. That's pretty cool. Can any animal be albino? Like, what is that? How does that happen? That's crazy that that happens to birds. It's very pretty. And I would be remiss to not, in some way, remember the victims of the attack after spending time acknowledging the perpetrator. So, before we sign off, we're just going to go through the victims here. I won't attempt to pronounce her name, but Miss Cheng, 25 years old. Jade Young. Ashley Good, 38. That was the mother of the 9-year-old. Dawn Singleton. Pikaria Darchia. And the single male victim, I believe he was a security guard, Fazar Tahir. May they rest in peace. And thank you for watching. I will see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.